After my last talk is a hot dog, a sandwich, and other pressing questions from Attica Prison, my brother Walter, who's a die-hard Buffalo Bills fan, asked, if I could give another talk, what would it be about? So jokingly, I said, if I could, it'd be on how the Buffalo Bills ruined the world. Bills fans, relax. I actually mean this in a good way. Plus, I don't want any smoke with Bills Mafia. I've seen what they do to superfan Pinto Ron, whom they love. So I don't need to hear the butchers come in and Bills fans jumping through my dining room table. But if they try that in Attica, they're going to the box. In case you don't know, that's solitary confinement. Trust me, it is not fun. But seriously, have you seen Bills Mafia? They're lunatics. Oops, I meant very passionate and immensely loyal fans who support their team like no other. Case in point, how after their quarterback Josh Allen's grandmother passed away, they donated close to $1.5 million in $17 increments, which is also his jersey number, to the Patricia Allen Fund in Oishei Children's Hospital. Or when they donated thousands to the visually impaired advancement to troll refs over a blown call in the game. When I heard the theme of this event was challenging fears, it caused me to think, maybe the Bills could actually ruin the world. Well, at least ruin the way the world challenges its fears by showing us all that we must believe, be unafraid to crash through any metaphorical tables in our way, help and support those on our team and even those who aren't, and whether we win or lose, take pride in putting forth an unprecedented effort. As a Patriot fan, it pains me to say this, but perhaps Bills Mafia has the ideal mindset for us challenging our fears. These past few years of the pandemic have been challenging for us all, and many of us have been forced to face our worst fears. I remember as a child, I was deadly afraid of Jason Voorhees from the Friday the 13th movies. I'm talking about from the hockey mask to the machete to the whole shh, ha ha, and all. I was shook. Of course, I got older and I realized there's nothing this fictional creature could do to me. I later discovered that that monster pales in comparison to the other fears that I would encounter and continue to battle, including my fear of being vulnerable, leading me to act impervious to grief, loneliness, change, failure, powerlessness, and my own mortality. Last spring, on the day that marked 1 year since the murder of George Floyd, my father passed away suddenly. Although Pops wasn't perfect, he did his best to help others. Literally took a bullet for me, and I felt like I had let him down by not being there for him as I should have. The day before I was scheduled to leave prison to view his body, I learned that my teenage son, who's autistic and severely epileptic, had been placed in a wheelchair because he was having between 20 to 30 seizures a day. I also learned that the two people who supported me most throughout my incarceration, my mother and sister, also wouldn't be able to attend the viewing. That's because on our way to the funeral home, I happened to pass them at Roswell Park Cancer Center, where my mother was there for chemotherapy treatment. At this time, I felt completely like a failure, absolutely powerless, and had feared the worst. Unfortunately, that was a consequence of the lifestyle that I chose to live, which led to my incarceration. All I could do was believe that it'd be all right. As this pandemic has shown us, there's something about being confined or locked down which causes a person to yearn for their old normal, despite how dysfunctional it may have been. And mine resembled a horror film, except there was no more running from or escaping my masked villain as I now reside in a cell with him. No, it's not Jason, it was me. That's because prior to this new normal, mine's already consisted of the practice of masking and being socially distant, but all due to a fear of being vulnerable. I had on this mask of having everything together and being fine, even though I wasn't. It wasn't my ears that were uncomfortable from it, but it was my soul. It's sad to say, but I somewhat excelled at doing bad and had grown accustomed to that normal, even to the point where I was afraid of doing otherwise, unmasking and losing the respect of friends who really weren't my friends. It may sound odd at a moment where we're all probably sick of them, but I was apprehensive of taking off my mask. To do so would expose me to the fears that initially caused me to don it as my PPE, such as my abandonment issues, thoughts that I wasn't loved, my reluctance to ask for help, and the fear of being a failure. However, that exposure wouldn't kill me because unknowingly, I was inoculated and possessed the antibodies that we all have in order to defeat our fears. Hope, strength, and love. With those things, any fear can be overcome. We just have to jump through that table. As James Baldwin put it, not everything faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed unless it is faced. Therefore, I was obligated to face my fears, that I come up short sometimes. I will be susceptible to criticism and even vulnerable, and that some things are just beyond my control. And you're capable of facing your fears as well. I'd be remiss not to add this. While my mother was battling, kicking breast cancer's ass, I asked her if there's one thing she always wanted me to remember. And she said that love is the greatest gift that you can give someone, and how you love people is important. So I've chosen to use my time incarcerated for my betterment as well as others. In hopes of preventing at least one at-risk youth from repeating my mistakes, I joined Attica's Youth Assistance Program, which is the adaptation of the Squires program from San Quentin. Thank you, San Quentin. This program is saving lives. And it's allowed me to assist others as well as confront some of my fears, like public speaking. By enriching others, we actually enrich ourselves. Now, I must ask, are we finally ready to take off these masks? No, not the ones that protect ourselves and others from the spread of COVID-19 or my identity from Bills fans, but the ones that cover hard truths with soft lies, such as when we're asked how we're doing and we reply fine, even though we aren't. Those that cause us to treat others how we wouldn't want to be treated, and those that have slowed the spread of kindness, empathy, and decency. These are just some of the masks we must be willing to shed in order to move on to a happier and more inclusive existence. Since how we do it is important, and I fear just one person doing so isn't enough, as this will take an unprecedented team effort. And we can do this with the hashtag Buffalo Challenge. In honor of my mom's, pops, and hometown, I challenge everyone to spread the love and help someone else overcome their fear. Just make sure it's nothing criminal. I don't need any more cellmates. Whether it's trying something new, learning about a different culture, starting a business, or giving someone a second chance. Let's embrace change and ruin the way the world challenges its fears. Stay healthy, blessed, and grateful. Thank you for your time.